I am Scott Laverty, head baseball coach here at Chapman University. This is my 6th year here at Chapman. I've been coaching for 23 years in college baseball, 20 as a head coach.
Awesome. What is the best piece of advice that you can offer a high school student athlete who wants to play for you?
Um, it's cliche-ish, but it's about fit. It's about finding the right spot that you can feel comfortable socially, academically, athletically. That's the first and foremost thing that we talk about. It really is a cliche, but it's true, and that's why people go to places and have connections. When you go on campus tours, you just have this connection to a place, and that's important to find that connection, because you never know what happens, especially in athletics. Somebody might hurt themselves and never be able to play baseball again, and you want to be at a place where you feel comfortable that you're going to finish your academic career, your social career, you're going to make your best friends, all that stuff. So it's really about fit.
Awesome. How can high school athletes get on your radar, and when should they reach out to you?
So, as a Division III institution, we're non-athletic scholarship. So we really work 1 year at a time in the graduating process. I know some of the bigger schools will commit sophomores and freshmen sometimes, but we really look at seniors, the upcoming senior class. So for this year, the class of 2019 is the class that we're really focused on. They get on our radar through contacting us, sending us information, sending video. My staff and I go to lots of events. We went to 59 different events across the country this year to look at players and scout. And so it's finding these events, reaching out, and putting yourself in a position to play in front of us a little bit. So those are kind of a couple of the key ways that people get in front of us.
What camps/tournaments do you recommend athletes go to?
It depends on what they're looking for. In baseball, as I mentioned, there's all these clinics and showcases, and there's so many. It could get a little bit overwhelming. Look at the showcases and see who's coming. Most of these showcases will list what schools have confirmed attendance. So if you have a list of 4 or 5 schools that you're really interested in, and you see that 4 of those schools are going to be at one event, well, that might be an event that you would want to consider attending. Also consider attending each of those schools' individual camps. Most everybody, especially in baseball, has an individual prospect camp where you get to interact with their coaching staff, maybe interact with some of their players, to really get a good feel for what it might be like to be on campus there.
What is the main characteristic that you look for in a potential recruit?
There's 3 things that we recruit. The first one is the person. Baseball is a different game than the other major ones. You could be the best player in the world, but I might not want you if you're a jerk. So first thing we look is the person. We want good people. Second is, obviously, you have to have some athletic ability. So we look at that skill set next. And then the third for us is that you got to want to learn. We are a teaching program. We expect you to learn about the game, and then take that information and help it translate into the game through execution. So we kind of those are kind of the 3 things that I task my staff with as we go out into the recruiting process.
When high school athletes are looking at colleges and where to play baseball, why Chapman? What do you feel makes the program stand out?
Well, first and foremost, it's the university. Wow. When I talk to people, there's not too many times you get to be at a place and it's boom. And Chapman has just taken off over the last decade in all facets. Most of my guys, we run the gamut, but about 50% of my guys on an annual basis are business guys, and the business program is the number 1 up-and-coming business program on the West Coast. Getting here on campus, seeing all the things that they've done to campus, it's its own little bubble. It's its own little piece of paradise almost, and so the campus sells itself. And then our baseball tradition is similar. We have a very, very strong tradition, with 2 national championships going all the way back to the 60s, and loads of playoff appearances. And so people see the combination of the 2, what's going on here at Chapman academically and socially, and then the success that the baseball program has had in the past. That it's sometimes an easy sell.
If an athlete is struggling with grades, is there assistance or tutoring available for these athletes?
Yes. What and most of us coaches have some different things. Some coaches have study halls and different things like that. We don't, from a baseball perspective, because Chapman provides everything for you. First, our average class size is 23. Our student teacher ratio is 14-1. You have accessibility to the professor. You could go to their office hours and not have to stand in a line bent around the corner. You could actually email them, and they probably will respond in a timely fashion. Might not be the next hour, but they'll get back to you within pretty soon with an answer. So the accessibility of the professors is there, so you can get the information from the horse's mouth. We have a academic support center that's ready for all. All you have to do is go sign up, and hey, I need help in this class, and I can go sign up and get help from one of my peers in that study session. And then for us, baseball wise, I just remind our guys who's doing what. Okay, you're having problems in this class. Well, Tommy over here is your same major. And he's 2 years older than you. Maybe he can help you get through that class a little bit, or have some tips on who to talk to, or different things like that. So it really is built in, and then us as coaches, across the gamut, can kind of remind our student athletes of all the avenues they have for success.
How important is social media when recruiting a potential player? Do you look at their social media, or what advice can you give to potential recruits when it comes to social media and the recruiting process?
I don't look at it as much as some others, especially the higher levels, the Division Ones and stuff like that. I think they look at that a little bit more than I do, but it is important to portray. It goes back to the first thing I said: we want good people, and so if you're portraying inconsistent things, negative things on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever, it's gonna come back. Even to a guy like me, I'm not social media inept, but it's not my favorite thing. So I'm not gonna be trolling on it, trying to figure out what everybody's doing, but it still will come back to me. And so definitely be careful with what you're doing. And these days and age, everything is videoed, everything's taped, everything is recorded. So you just have to be cognizant of those things.
What is the funniest way that a high school student athlete marked themselves to you?
So I had a player send me a video that I turned the video on, and I'm watching it, and he's playing basketball. And he's playing basketball very poorly. He's in his backyard shooting and missing like air balls and throwing the ball off the backstop or backboard, and just playing horribly. And then he stops in the middle, and he's all, "Well, coach, you can see that I'm not a basketball player. Here's my baseball video. Will you take a look?" And so that got my attention, and he actually ended up being a pretty decent player. And actually, I forgot this part. I was at a different school at this time. He actually came to Chapman. He ended up being a Chapman student, so it was pretty funny. Yeah.
What is the most amusing parent story? What did they do to make you scratch your head and say, "What the heck is going on here?"
Oh gosh, I think it's probably just a combination of you'll have the parents just with the loud voices that you can just hear, and they just come out when a bad call, or a call that we think maybe not gone our way, they'll say something in that big strong baritone. We've had a couple of those, and inevitably it becomes it happens when it's deathly quiet, like nobody else is saying anything, and out blurs this, that was a bad call, umper, or whatever it might be. So those are some of the funny ones that I can recall.
What is the most rewarding part about being a coach?
The most rewarding part is seeing our guys succeed. Actually having them do something on the baseball field that I get to say, "Hey, yeah, I coached them to do that. We worked on that yesterday, and look how it came through." And that's where our excitement comes from as a coach in any sport. When you're coaching basketball, and they make a couple of 3-pointers, and you worked on their shot yesterday, and you're like, yes, that's where your reward comes in, is seeing them succeed.
Awesome. Thank you for your time.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.